What is going on? I'm Zedmont. We are on the warships. I know this is going to sound awful slash bad. All I can do, to be completely honest, because sitting in a hotel on a laptop, not perfect. Doesn't matter though. Warships Season 43 has started. There were no major bugs, thankfully. Please consider throwing code ZMOT in that shop. Let's get going. Show you the basics of Season 43. Season 43 has already changed dramatically. Before, you didn't need flares. Now you probably do. To start the season, you probably wanted to have a Doom Cannon. That quickly changed to be the Sky Shield as more people got flares, as more people got critter launchers. So, lots going on this season. Like I said in my sneak peek, don't have to upgrade the gunboat to start with. That's not super important this season. Also, Tick 1 mechs are all you probably need. As you can see, they're only getting a little tiny bit extra damage, only getting a tiny bit extra health. So save those tokens on the mechs. You do want to get your sniper towers and your flares and your machine guns and your flamethrowers up to at least Tick 4 so you get the maximum build count. Troop health important, building damage not so important. You probably want to get into mechs. And you probably want to get into heavies, if you can get that far, of course. Mechs on their own are decent. Mechs with heavies behind them are a little bit better. And then if you can get to brick, this was the early season choice. You had to go get critter launchers or you had to go get brick. I went critter launchers first. It paid off pretty well. And then you managed to go get back and get brick. And now the next couple, I probably should be doing this, but it's early this morning after a late night. So again, coming back, and now we're going to go try to get building health. But first, we got to go all the way back here and try to get our flares. Because without flares, this season is just a complete gong show. This base, as you can see, 2-3 critter launchers underneath the sky shield. So dangerous. It is crazy how destructive critter launchers are underneath a sky shield. Look at that. See, I told you, underneath the sky shield, they are so dangerous. Hoping that we can get off the beach here. It'll be very interesting to see if we can do that, because these things are just so crazy how many critters they pump out. I don't know if they need to be nerfed and slowed down a little bit, but let me tell you, they are dangerous. Managed to get that one down, which means we should be able to get off the beach. There are times where you just can't get off the beach because these things do so much destruction. There we go. We got it shocked. That is where the mechs are coming in incredibly useful. Once you get into a spot where that critter launcher is just pumping critters at you, your troops are shooting at the critters, it just turns into so much frustration. I hope you guys don't run into that. It does happen sometimes. I found myself just force quitting. Now, I realize I'm using cluster grenade. Obviously, I realize that. Battle orders is better often, but what I've found is that with the cluster grenade, she can bail you out. She can reset that cycle at times, even if it happens just once. It's nice to reset that cycle, get your troops to start shooting some buildings instead of shooting the stupid critters. I've also seen it where your troops, there's critters just standing there doing nothing, which doesn't make any sense to me. Only when it's my critters, not when it's their critters, it seems like. Cross almost certainly has flares. We managed to pick up the win, though, which is great because we're one step closer to flares. I'll show you what Cross is doing against the base that I'm using here. Just all mechs, and I'm guessing battle orders. We'll see in a second. See how much goodness mechs are providing. There's the flare right there. Trying to move away from the critter launcher. And the critter launcher did not get any critters out. And now we go. Now they're starting to come out, but they have the ability to flare things. And by moving with flares, you just reset the system. Without flares, I'll see if I can find like my worst attack of my life. Let's see here. Got all the engine rooms. Let's show you. Shout out to Flint, Michigan, by the way. Let's go this. This is going to be ugly. ugly, ugly, I'm sure. I couldn't tell you what it's going to be, except for the fact that it's going to be ugly. And it was really interesting last night. Typically, I don't play the beginning of the season because it starts at midnight, but last night, being in the hotel, I decided to do so. It was really, really interesting just watching people realize that critter launchers were amazing. I mean, I'm sure everyone expected it, but then just people playing with the positioning of those critter launchers underneath the sky shield, and people like me realizing that I have screwed up. Like, just, oh crap, complete and utter screw up here. I don't know how they managed to get out. I think I got 0 engine rooms. No, look at that. All of a sudden, someone made a run for it, and then it was too late. So, just not good at all. Didn't it say that I got an engine room down there? Yeah, it said I got 1 engine room somehow. On that replay, it sure didn't look like it, so I don't know what the heck happened there. Yeah, that's very, very strange. If you guys can understand that, let me know. Again, I am sleep deprived. Worked all weekend, like all weekend, like 16 hours a day, and then was up till 1 a.m. last night. It just wasn't smart. Wasn't smart at all. So this is one of those ones without flares is just going to be ugly. This is going to be super, super, super ugly. The only way I can possibly, no, I don't think I can do anything. This is going to be ugly. Like, I have no hopes or dreams this is going to go well. I think my only way I can do this is by delaying some troops and sending them all to that left-hand side. I think that's the only possible way that I can do anything here at all. Excuse me, using the microphone on my laptop, like straight up the one built in, so it's likely sounding like complete and utter garbage. So thank you for patience on that. It was either not make the video or upload with what I have. That's why the intro's a little bit different. There's no DVD bouncing around. It's just different today. So we're just gonna try to shock that critter launcher as long as we possibly can as our reinforcements come up that left-hand side, knowing full well that this is going to go poorly. And once we finally start to get into our good friend, the, what am I trying to say here? Once we finally can get into shot flares, things are going to go a little bit better. So last night, I mean, it was so much different than a typical season, I feel like. Or maybe it is that much, and the metas are just changing by the second. But at the same time, it's also like this really, really frustrating time because there are not enough people playing, so there's not enough matches. Come on, Brick, get the cycle reset. There we go. So just trying to get our troops going towards the engine room. Like, they're so close to getting that first engine room down. I think I need maybe 2 engine rooms to get my chest. Slowly but slowly, and now we're just done. So I didn't even have to show you the frustrations of last night. We can watch them right now as that critter launcher just keeps pumping out critters once every second, and we're gonna watch the mech get melted because we don't have flares to reset the cycle, and I don't have sad trombone to play for you either. So mistakes were made. Flares were not needed last night, but there's a great example of why you want to get flares now, because man, does that ever suck. Suckinski. Monica's older, wiser sister probably should have a little bit more mechs. Another way you can get through that, I can probably shock that critter launcher if I'm super careful. Not 100% sure, but I'm probably wrong. So just saving every little teeny bit of gunboat energy, trying to get the critter launchers shocked as long as you can. We don't have smoke. That would be another option potentially, where you could like smoke and then drop some troops to get the critter launcher distracted. Let's get that full shock right there. Nope, can't get all the way into the corner. So now we're just drawing critters, and it's crazy how many troops come out. Like, it is just lots of them. Now we managed to reset that cycle. We're gonna try to get bricks. There we go. So, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that cluster grenade to not land on the critters, because by doing so, what you can end up doing is you can end up moving the attack forward, which gets the mechs shocking those critter launchers, and we're just not going to get there. So again, attack number 2, showing why you need flares. I am not going to show any more of these awful attacks because there's no benefit. Like, this is just hideous. I guess hopefully not many of you are in this scenario. Once you get in this scenario, if you don't have flares, you just retreat. And I am... Ugh, it's ugly. And the reason why I forced close, by the way, for those of you wondering what the heck I was trying to look at there, on that other account, I managed to somehow get an engine room, even though the replay didn't show it, or my brain totally passed over it. So I wanted to see if somehow force quitting stopped the critter launchers or something like that. Didn't seem to have be the case. Same thing happening here. We're gonna try battle orders. We'll do one last attack just because. And now, once I get the flares, we will come back. I am not feeling super excited about this part of the video because, let's be honest, watching your troops hang out and die is not super duper exciting. So can't shock that corner. That sky shield is placed absolutely perfectly. That little notch making all of the difference. And now that we're starting to get close, we're going to start throwing some battle orders out just on the off chance that maybe, just maybe, we can get that thing shocked as some of our mechs move a little bit forwards. Come on, dudes, move on in. Get that darn thing shocked because, my goodness, this is just insane. Mechs shooting very, very quickly, but we're getting no value out of them. This is going to be frustrating for a lot of people, so do make sure you go get those flares. Otherwise, you are just stuck in the spin cycle, and it is completely and utterly awful. You saw there we were getting a little bit of damage to that engine room, but just not enough. Like, that left-hand side mech is our only hope right now of even coming close to getting an engine room. So we are going to shock over here. Sky Shield, Critter Launcher, my goodness, just awful. Want nothing to do with this. Need to get in those flares ASAP. That F is capitalized as my microphone. I can't even think of the word. It sounds awful. We'll stick with that. Okay, Craig whooping us. Need 2 engine rooms desperately. I'm not going to edit. We're going to leave this in here simply because editing the video would be way too hard. Sitting here in a hotel on a laptop without 90% of the software that I'm used to. So, if this video is not the quality you would expect a YouTube video to be, I really do apologize, and thank you for your patience and all of that sort of good stuff. I was told not to apologize, to say thank you instead. Gratefulness goes a long way. I found more so than usual this weekend, so I am definitely grateful for you guys. Hopefully this video doesn't suck as bad as I think it's about to, but just, I figured sending out, even if it just, not enough people are on the Twitters, not enough, it just figured, you know what, let's get this video out there. Hope that we can somehow help some of you guys as we get that tight little shock underneath there. That is going to be a savior. Just trying to shock all of the critter launchers as we try to get all of our troops on there. The fact is that mech right there needs to move forward or we're going to be having a bad time. Sky Shield is down. Don't have enough gunboat energy. There we go. There is the gunboat energy we needed. Need that mech to move forward. Need that mech to move forward to move the heck forward. And it looks like it's not going to happen, unfortunately. So even after all that, should have used cluster grenade on that one because we are going to not get any engine rooms. And I desperately need my sad trombone here because this is just poor, not fun, not exciting, not getting engine rooms. Season after season, there seems to be moments like this, and hopefully you guys stick around and keep digging through it and keep playing, because there is some exciting stuff coming in the season. I am getting just pummeled. I'm going to pause. I'll come back once I've gotten those chests, because my goodness, I don't even have the pause button because I'm on such an old version, so we're going to have to split some videos together. Gross. Just like that. Only took a couple more battles, went down into 13 even. Just not awesome. So flares. Make sure you go get flares. That's the only thing I can tell you at this point. I'm going to leave mine at tick 3 just in case we can get any sort of value out of that. Now I'm going to start upgrading my troop damage. I have wasted a little bit of tokens here and there, upgrading gunboat energy to 2, for example, before I had gotten my gunboat there. Be very scrimpy savvy this season. Upgrade tokens are very scarce. Let's try with flares. Kind of assume we can start to do a little bit better, especially since we can start to flare things. Both of those critter launchers are very flareable. We're going to farm some gunboat energy. I am going to send out my mechs first because they're slower, trying to get our heavies and our mechs. Oh, I used the wrong ability. I forgot to switch back to battle orders. That is the number one mistake I have been making this season. Anytime I'm using more than one ability, I'm just completely and utterly unable to swap between them. So mechs out there shocking things, getting some good usage out of them, and then by the time we start to get close to those big shot things such as boom cannons and cannons, want to have some gunboat energy left over. So now we are going to flare onto there. We're going to throw a shock there and a shock there, and just getting the heck away from the critter launchers, getting the heck away from that their other critter launcher, and now all of our mechs should start shocking things, hopefully, and then finally, there we go. So got our shocks out, so many critters out already, even though, there we go, mech. See that mech? Mech doing amazing things. The fact that they fixed mechs, could you imagine trying to do this season without mechs being fixed? It would have just been a bajillion times worse. And again, I still screwed up. Should have had battle orders going. Probably should have flared onto that critter launcher. But we might just get another engine room. So bad. Just so bad. I am just making so many mistakes this season. Hopefully that is some form of learning for you guys so you don't end up making the same mistakes. We're going to switch brick out just like that. Going to switch down to 2, and we'll see if just maybe we can get in on that stuff, because let's go. Here we go. Let's get our mechs out here. We're going to get them moving slowly but surely, remembering that we're on tick 3 flares. Tick 3 flares do make a fairly significant difference. So we're going to get over to here. We're going to start clearing, knowing full well that we need to get as wide as we possibly can very soon. You see how fast those flares are expiring? Tick 3 flares. It is going to take some extra managing, definitely. I just don't want to shoot myself in the foot later, because there's usually some form of goodness we can get out of early flares. You can't take them back though, so we're just going to have to get over into here, trying our darndest to keep all of our attention right there. As soon as that critter launcher turned, we are now going to flare onto that critter launcher. I am not messing around, folks. We need to get all attention onto that critter launcher, hoping that our mechs turn in the right direction. Doesn't look like they have, of course. So we're now going to break that cycle. Let's see if we can't flare onto that engine room. There we go. Breaking the cycle, getting the troops onto the things bit by stinking little bit. This is not going to be pretty. This is not going to be the angle that I wanted to approach from. But maybe, just maybe, we can get another engine room. I'm going to have to spend some time watching replays, but at the very least, the very, very, very least, we've got flares so we can start to do some skilled attacks. Without flares, you're just sitting there watching, and it's not a lot of fun. We got picked up a win, all thanks to the flares. Go get flares, go get flares, go get flares. I think we've finished our video for the today. Hopefully that helped. Let me know in the comments what you think about this season. Just a reminder, don't let the early season baloney taint your season. I know it can be frustrating at times, especially this season. Critter launchers, there's going to be a lot of people that hate critter launchers. That's going to be all for me, though. Hopefully this helped you. Hopefully it helped you avoid that early season frustration. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Zedmont. Thank you for coming in. Peace.